So let's talk about Tax Code 7702. It was enacted in 1984. Before 1984, you could buy a $10,000 life insurance policy and put $10 million into it. And the government at some point decided to step in and say, you know what? We're not going to allow this to happen anymore. You have to go through suitability, meaning you can only put in up to a certain amount of percentage of your income and assets, and you must have a policy tied to it. So that's part of it. And for qualified non-MEC, modified endowment contract is a MEC. What that means is so long as you do not go above the maximums, everything is treated tax-free. You don't have to pay taxes on the gains. You don't have to pay taxes on the money that when it comes out. And ultimately, we all understand how insurance works, whether it's paying off your car that got totaled or paying, a claim on your roof. You don't have to pay taxes on insurance benefits during your life or after your death. The death benefit usually ends up being 3 times the amount of money that you put into it. So if you put $1 million into infinite banking and then pass away, the death benefit might be somewhere around like $2.5 or $3 million. That's not a benefit I recommend, though. One guy gets my joke. All right, awesome. I don't recommend dying, right? I'm just saying you should probably just live a long, healthy life and let the compound effect take off. And then people do ask all the time, could the government change this? Yeah, they could. Anybody that had a pre-existing account would be grandfathered. That would not affect you. That would only affect policies. But since 1984, it has not been challenged. Why? Who do you think is putting the most amount of money in this? Now, the people who pay those people that make the policies, right? We understand government, right? It's the people behind them, right? They're trying to make sure that they protect the sacred cow. So number 2, if you've not done this before, or maybe you've only heard of people, but you don't know someone directly, let's talk about who is. When you look at statistics, in terms of life insurance companies, today, the top 1% own over 1/3 of the reserves inside of these companies. That's the top 10% wealthiest people in our country. If you look at the top 10% wealthiest people in our country, they currently own about 60% of the reserves inside of insurance companies. They are our own bank. They might still use banks for the things they have to, but they can also create their own bank by doing it this way. If you're starting to also wonder, what are banks doing with that 10% they have to hold on to? Okay, go Google BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. Have you ever wondered why when you go into a bank that all the people that are in those cubicles are some kind of a vice president? Any company can buy a life insurance policy on a key person or a key executive, right? And so once someone becomes a VP at a bank, so they've been there for 6 months or a year and they make them a quote-unquote VP, the bank will buy a policy in that person's name and then they'll stuff it with all the money that they are required to have in reserves, okay, and more, and they get all those same benefits that we were just talking about. If you look at all the major banks in our country today, they all participate. There's over $202 billion in deposit with insurance companies by banks. All right, so here's the deal. You don't have to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire. You don't have to have a bank to be your own bank. Literally anyone can do this. I've had people start accounts, just creating the habit of saving money, $500, $600 a month, all the way up to $500,000 or $600,000 per year. Anybody can do it, but I think the first 2 questions most people have is this too good to be true, and who in the world has already been doing this, right? So now you can understand those 2 things. If you're gonna have to buy insurance, I think you might as well get the right kind. So really quickly, there are 2 different types of life insurance and they cost the same. So the companies that I use pay out on the right. So if I have a client that goes through a critical illness, critical injury type scenario, long-term care, they can be advanced up to 75% of their death benefit upon that occurrence. So you may or may not decide that you need that money at that time, but it's just nice to know that you have that option. So there's the old kind of life insurance that only pays out if you die, and then there's a kind of life insurance called living benefits. That mutual company that's A+ rated and been around for 175 years here in Texas, they work like that on the right, and they don't cost any more. It's just paid out if you want to. The catch is that if they give you, let's say you have a $3 million life insurance policy, okay, if they give you an advance on your death benefit, they're off the hook for the rest. So if they give you, say, $1.5 million, they don't have to pay the other $1.5 million. So you get to choose whether you want $1.5 million now or whether you would like to wait until after your death and then your family gets $3 million. Again, I don't recommend either one of these benefits, but they're there.
Click on the link in the comments below and we're going to put all the information. How can you commit me live and all my power team as well? This is why I'm not hiding, because it did transform my life and other thousands of other people as well. and it can transform your life. You can get your financial situation to the next level with you and your family and everyone around you. So this is why I love to share my journey, because I want you to start living the American dream, not just dream that you could have, but not taking the right action because no one have told you that you don't need money, you don't need credit scores. Worry about your credit score, and you don't need to have money, but you do need to know who you are working with and how to learn with the right people. So click on the link in the comment below, and we'll put more information how you can come meet us live and online as well for you to start changing your life with us right now.